So hello and welcome to our mid-month update, where we bring you the latest on the technical rollout of the Alonzo testnets program with just some of the team responsible for delivering it. We're into Alonzo White now, and we've just completed Alonzo Blue. So Nigel, tell us about Alonzo Blue. How's it all gone?
Thanks, Tim. It's gone well. It's gone really well. And it's gone well with a big thanks to the community that's helped us. They've uncovered issues for us to fix, and we've got through it successfully. So Alonzo Blue now is complete. We've managed to get almost 40 community members, SPOs, and our Pioneer Blue task force, all updating Alonzo nodes and actually running the first 3 exercises in our Plutus transactions, which I know Kevin and Dimitri will talk you through in a bit more detail.
So yes, Kevin, these exercises, these have been really central to helping people navigate their way and really give some structure to the testing. Can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yes, certainly, Tim. So the exercises, what they're designed to do is to onboard new users into the Alonzo testnets, and they're geared towards first setting up the node, introducing people to some things that are veteran SPOs, stake pool operators, will be very familiar with, but the new group of Plutus pioneers and Plutus app developers are going to be much less used to. So the first exercise is all about just getting things set up. Exercise 3 we've run on Alonzo Blue is all about how do you submit Plutus scripts onto the chain, how do you create transactions that embed Plutus scripts and have these executed. And we haven't yet done exercise 2 on Alonzo Blue. We're looking forward to doing that on Alonzo White. Exercise 2 is all about following through with us as we execute a hard fork. And we're going to have a lot of fun when we have the party later on, Tim.
So Ben, you've been responsible for helping with the community management side of things, which is obviously quite a big job already and is going to scale rapidly. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about some of the work you've been doing to prepare the way.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. It's helping us get the processes together. We're bringing together SPOs, developers, a learning community, and Alonzo in the testnet. So we've set the Discord server up as a community platform that we're going to be building out from. We've had over 100 applications to volunteer and help us support the community as it grows. And it's a really exciting phase because it's a conceptualization phase. So people are going to get a really an opportunity to help us shape it. So relatively small numbers in Blue, thinking about Alonzo. The onboarding's been done through referrals. So I've had a lot of DMs with people asking me how to get in. At the moment, you need to be referred by somebody. But we're going to open that up and scale it out over the next few weeks. And also we've set up office hours and a code clinic in the voice channels to support the community. So it's been a lot of fun.
And Demetrius, from a technical point of view, I'm sure there's been a lot of very useful learnings already from Alonzo Blue.
Indeed, Tim. Technically, we had a few key learnings from the first couple of phases of Blue and the White that we're entering now. The most important of those being that, first of all, we need to have the execution units that need to be known in advance. And this is something that we witnessed as part of Blue 2. And now we're actually going to develop an automation in the next version of the node for known in advance of submitting a smart contract transaction. And also another really important key finding from Blue 1 was that while we tried to transition from Blue 1 to Blue 2, we had actually to respin the Genesis file in order to allow for the Plutus transactions maximum size to pass. There was a limitation that if the transaction was bigger than what the parameter was set in that environment, it would fail. And in order to resolve that, we needed to adjust the variables related to the transaction size, which was the maximum value transaction output limit. And that's now fixed, and this supports the bigger transaction size that we have due to having the script inside the transaction for Alonzo, which is something new compared to the Mary and the previous eras. And again, this is now being identified, and we're fixing that before spinning up our next environments.
So Nigel, at the point of recording this video, we're just about to hard fork. Maybe let's just talk a little bit more about White, where we are now and where we're going next. Alonzo White.
We're now through Alonzo Blue. With Alonzo White, we've introduced more and more members. As Ben said, they've come through with more referrals from SPOs. We're widening that community. So in the meeting on Friday, we introduced exchanges. We also introduced Catalyst winners and also all our partners. And those guys are then going to start in Alonzo White, firing up their nodes and getting used to Alonzo. In White, we're asking them in this hard fork procedure to make sure that they start their nodes in Mary and then they will hard fork to Alonzo. And we'll start that later on today.
So, Kevin, one of the other things I understand that is due to be integrated during this White process is the PAB, the Plutus application backend. Now, this is a pretty important part of the overall smart contracts rollout, isn't it? Perhaps you can tell us a little bit more about that side of things.
Absolutely, Tim. The PAB, the Plutus application backend, is absolutely critical for writing complex DApps. So what we've got so far with Alonzo Blue, the early stages of Alonzo White, is a system where you can write Plutus scripts, you can submit these, have these executed on chain and see the results from executing them. But what we're not able to do is to link together transactions into a more complex application. So if, for example, you have a transaction that needs to be executed if a previous transaction has succeeded, you can't do that. What the Plutus application backend does is to provide you a nice, seamless way to link together all of these things through Haskell code that also links up with the blockchain emulator. What we'll be able to do is to link together these scripts into much more complex transactions, real DApps, swaps, all the kind of things that people are really interested in using. And of course, because we're doing this in Haskell, you'll also be able to verify or check the quality of the code that you're producing. So there'll be a lot of things you can do automatically to determine that your code is consistent and compliant.
So the White phase, around a month, I understand it's expected to last. But Nigel, maybe just remind us what will mark the end of the White phase and the beginning of the Purple phase.
Well, in White, we're introducing more of our Alonzo components. The two critical ones are the Cardano wallet, aka the Cardano wallet backend, and also our Plutus application backend, as Kevin's just mentioned. Both these things we have to integrate to the Alonzo node first, so that they can process Alonzo transactions. So those are the two critical things that we're looking for in order to be able to complete White. But in addition to that, we have the other elements of the Cardano family, such as GraphQL and Explorer, that will also making sure we'll be ready for Alonzo. We get those things in place, we get more people on board, and we get them through updating nodes and starting with simple Plutus transactions, and we'll have finished the White phase and we're ready to move on to the next one.
Demetrius, we're looking at about a month for Alonzo White.
Indeed. We're looking at about a month for our detailed plan for all of the different color phases that we have in place. And obviously this depends on the progress, and any unforeseen issues might slightly impact that. But up to now, we are in line with our expectations and the overall plan. And actually, as part of White, there might be some more features that we weren't initially anticipating. Of course, this is on top of having more and more people participating and providing their views and feedback on the usability of the features that we're rolling out and the different components, as Nigel mentioned before, and we'll keep doing that. And in terms of the additional features for White, let's hold that and discuss in more details in the next update that we'll do for the 360.
Nigel, yes, indeed. And I think we'll dive more into Purple as well in the next 360 show at the end of this month. But meanwhile, perhaps you can just give us a high-level overview of what Purple will involve once we've moved past White.
Well, as a brief reminder again, we'll get through to the end of White. We'll have the Cardano wallet and the Plutus application backend integrated to the node. Once we've got those pieces, we'll be ready to actually start Purple. We've split the Purple phase into two. So we've got light purple and dark purple. In the light purple phase, it will be the start of the public network, and we'll introduce a lot more community members to get involved. and to be able to develop different kind of smart contract dApps. Now, in this phase, in the light purple phase, we won't have the Plutus application backend integrated to the wallet. And it's this part which is the key element that we have to do as an integration part when we actually reach the dark purple phase. This first phase will enable us to increase the amount of community members and for those guys to continue to develop their smart contract applications. And then in the second phase is when it all comes together. And we'll see probably the partners who are most advanced in developing their dApps to integrate against the full Plutus application backend technology that's been fully integrated with all our Cardano components.
Now, Nigel, just before you go, we've also been working with a number of Plutus development partners, some of whom we've introduced on previous shows, testing out proof of concept. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit more about progress there.
They've all done really well. They've got some exciting applications coming online. We've got digital exchanges, we've got swaps, we've got loan applications, we've got oracles, and a whole multitude of different dApps that are coming down the road. Now, they've developed theirs and finished phase one, where we've got some working applications against the mock chain, where they've developed these things in a local environment. And their next phase is to then start getting involved with the networked Alonzo, where we can start off with doing what everybody else has been doing, updating the nodes, doing simple Plutus transactions, and then they'll end by actually integrating to the full Plutus library, the Plutus application backend. And at that point, we will then start to see fully working dApps on our testnet.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for the update today. That's it for now. See you at the end of the month.